The rumble of the damaged alien spacecraft echoed through the dense jungle. Its sleek black frame was scorched, and faint hissing noises escaped from cracked fuel lines. Inside, Captain Zrath growled in frustration. The urine vessel had crash-landed on this death world, and now the survival of its crew depended on their most precious cargo, a urine apex predator known as a Shadowfang. The beast had been severely injured in the crash, its black and silver, fur matted with alien ichor. The Shadowfang was more than a weapon. It was a symbol of urine strength. Losing it would be a disgrace, but the crew was powerless to save it. The creature's biology was too complex for their standard medical kits. They had sent out an emergency beacon, but no advanced medical teams had arrived. Instead, a single human responded. The Aarons didn't trust humans. As members of the Galactic Concord, they'd heard the tales. Deathworlders, unpredictable, dangerous, stubbornly primitive. When a human, a lanky man with grease-streaked hands and a cheerful grin, ambled into their crash site, Captain Zrath was immediately skeptical. "You're a mechanic," Zrath hissed. "How do you expect to help an apex predator of the urine homeworld? This is no simple machine." The human, who introduced himself as Jake, adjusted his worn utility belt and smirked. "Mechanic, medic, same thing when you get down to it. A system is a system. Let me take a look at your kitty." "Shadowfang," Zrath snapped. Jake crouched by the massive creature, its chest rising and falling in labored breaths. Its eyes, glowing amber slits, followed him with suspicion. He murmured soothing words as he pulled a small flashlight from his belt. The Aarons watched in horror and fascination. No one approached a Shadowfang and lived to tell the tale unless the beast accepted them. Jake clicked his tongue as he examined the wounds. Punctured lung, fractured limb, and what is this, some kind of venom gland? It's ruptured. That's your problem. Captain Zrath's ears twitched in disbelief. You identified all that in under a minute. Jake shrugged. Used to patch up a few predators back on Earth, big cats mostly. Had a similar case with a jaguar that got speared by poachers. "I'll need some supplies." Zrath barked orders, and the crew reluctantly handed over surgical tools, a plasma welder, and a handful of advanced biomolecular repair gel. Jake improvised, combining the gel with components from his toolkit to create an improvised sealing paste. The Aarons watched, horrified, as he began his work. "Hold its paw," Jake said to a nearby urine soldier. "You want me to touch it?" the soldier exclaimed. "If it flinches, this goes sideways," Jake said matter-of-factly. Reluctantly, the soldier obeyed. Jake worked with precision, stabilizing the creature's shattered bones with makeshift splints made from scraps of alien metal. He drained the ruptured venom gland and repaired the lung with a jury-rigged vacuum seal. His steady hands moved faster than the Aarons could follow. Hours later, Jake leaned back, exhausted but satisfied. The Shadowfang stirred, lifting its massive head to sniff the human before letting out a low growl. To the crew's amazement, it didn't attack. Instead, it lowered its head in what could only be described as submission. Captain Zrath was stunned. "It trusts you? How is this possible?" Jake wiped his hands on a rag and shrugged. "Predators respect strength and calm. You panic, you die. That's universal." The urine crew stood in silence, grappling with what they had just witnessed. For a species that prided itself on dominance, seeing their apex predator submit to a human mechanic was unthinkable. "What you did here today," Zrath said slowly, "is beyond anything we believe humans were capable of. You saved not only the Shadowfang, but also our honor." Jake smirked. "All in a day's work. Now about your ship. She's in rough shape, but I reckon I can patch her up too." As Jake turned his attention to the spacecraft, the urine crew exchanged looks. This human, with his grease-stained hands and unflappable demeanor, had done what their advanced technology could not. Perhaps there was more to these Deathworlders than the galaxy had ever realized. And as the Shadowfang prowled protectively beside Jake, one thing was certain. Humanity's reputation as a species of ingenuity and resilience had just earned another chapter.